What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Oh, that's less time.
Yeah, the other day it only gave me 3 seconds too. When
That's
I
less
was
time.
getting ready to do the interview, and I was like, "Whoa!"
What the fuck, Riverside?
I just realized I didn't change my name, but it's fine.
That's fine. Wow, I had 2 less seconds to prep for the start of this episode. I'm all
5 to 3
thrown off.
seconds is a big difference.
That is a big difference, honestly. Because at least like the beginning 2 seconds, it's like the kind of that like mental.
Yeah.
You have to like mentally get ready to then get ready.
Yes.
It's like, okay, now I'm like, okay, 1, 2. Okay, now it's 3, 2, 1. This is like the epitome of first world problems right here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 150. 150 of the Underground Circuit podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Owen. That is my sister, Casey. If you're new here, first of all, thanks for coming to hang out with us. We appreciate it. If you're not new here, and if you're a returning friend who has watched the video before, you'll notice I have some goodies behind me.
On the wall.
I have goodies behind me, finally. These are the Legos that I've been literally sitting there for forever that I needed to hang up, and I was working today from home, and I was like, fuck it, let's put them up. So
You need
they're up
the
now.
F1 Academy one.
I do need the F1 Academy one. So I was thinking about it. So obviously there's 12 cars on the grid this year, or there's 22 cars on the grid, but 12 you would get 11 things
11
for each
teams,
team.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but like 11, I don't know if I have the space for 11, honestly. So I was like, oh, I'll just get 8. I have 6 up there now. I'll just get 8.
Oh, yeah.
And then rotate in and out and everything. And I was
Because you
like,
could put
ooh.
someone on the shelf next to you still, too.
That's what I thought, too. So I was like, if I get more cars, like, I can swap it out and everything. And I was like, what cars would I put up there? So
Well, you have Mercedes, Red Bull, Williams,
yeah,
Ferrari,
so
2 McLarens.
let's see if I can coordinate my fingers here. So that's Red Bull right there. That's Mercedes. That's Ferrari. That's Williams. That's McLaren. That's McLaren. That one right there, the smaller one, is from before Formula One and Lego's partnership.
You could always switch that one out if you got another one.
That's what. Yeah, that would be the first to go. I did think about getting VCARB because it's white and like
Yeah.
so far each car like you can kind of tell has like their distinct like color on it. So I'm like, oh, VCARB would stick out like nicely. I
If you
think
do VCARB, there is Audi,
there is. I did think about Audi too. I thought about Cadillac.
F1 Academy.
There's the F1 movie, the
Yeah, true.
Apex GP. You know,
Cadillac, Haas or VCARB or Haas would be nice because they're
True.
white, they're super bright. And then the F1 Academy one is colorful because it's like yellow, purple. It's yellow, blue, purple, pink, I think. And it looks like that livery because there's a F1 Academy Lego livery, so it's exactly what she drives during the race. So, yeah, you definitely. I would say if you could add, how many do you have right now?
6.
6.
Well, 5 of the current run.
Yeah, so if you did VCARB, Audi, F1 Academy, there's 3 more.
VCARB, Audi, F1 Academy. I could do that. You're right. An F1 Academy one would be cool to have up there. I would
Yes.
really like that, to have that up there.
Yeah. The only thing is, Terry, our friend Terry, or F1 Coffee Corner Motorsports
Coffee
posted,
corner, yeah.
He got the Audi, and it does look a little bigger.
Really?
Yeah, well, he has the F1 Academy one and Audi in the same photo, and I said, is the F1 Academy smaller? And he was like, no, the same size as last year's.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, you have to look at his photo. He posted it on Threads.
Yeah.
He also
Interesting.
posted the Michael Schumacher Ferrari.
I know. I really want that.
I'm going to save money
like-
for the helmet. For a helmet.
True. There's so many.
I think there's like $90.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about when they first announced that this partnership together, and I was
know.
like, "This is not
If
good
you
for my
didn't
wallet."
like Legos, you've been fine, sure, but Owen's
Yeah.
been a Lego freak since the day he was born. So.
Oh my god! I mean, I can't see them, but I'm sure everybody else
I
can.
can,
I have
yeah.
two more. I have 4 more things of Legos right there, and there's one right behind me that you can't even really see. There's the Senna Lego.
Yeah.
It's
Well, good thing you have a birthday in the summer.
good thing. That's right.
So.
Yes,
But yes.
Thank you for joining us today after that very lengthy intro and discussion about Owen's room. Episode 150. Let's jump into it. We are going to start off. We have some news. And
Yeah.
yeah, some news. Not a whole lot, but some.
Do you want to do the news first or do you want to do the cars first?
Do the news.
We can do the news first.
Do the news first.
All right. We'll start off. This is... Everyone knows this now. Obviously, Max raced over the weekend with that beautiful Mercedes
Yeah.
GT3. It's very nice. They won. It was great. The three of them did so well. He was asked post-race, now that April is... there's no races in April. They're like, will we see you again here? He's like, I'm trying to figure it out. So we could see Max race again in April. But then a little bit later, came across Max and his team was disqualified from the race. So it said it was found that the team used 7 sets of tires on race day instead of the permitted 6. So because they used, the long story short, they literally used 1 extra set of tires.
1 extra tire, yeah.
And they were disqualified. So,
which is tough. That's not fun.
No. But yeah, that track is so pretty to watch them drive on. Especially the part,
is.
Like, there's like a part that's like covered in graffiti, and I don't know why. It just looks cool that they're driving over that part that's covered in graffiti. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like it's like nestled in like a forest, and it just looks really, really pretty. But the racing, I watched a good portion of the race Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. So I watched them like near the end. Like the last 2 hours maybe I had it on while I was doing things and saw him win. But
Did you see his that overtake that he made?
Yeah.
Between the 2 other cars?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like peak Max Verstappen right there. He's just like, let me just drive in between 2 cars like that. I loved it. I thought it was great.
And that's how you know how he's so versatile, because like that car is much bigger and wider.
Yeah.
Compared to F1. There's a video of him like sitting inside the car, and it looks like he's like, he doesn't know what to do himself, so I was like, he has too much room.
He's got way too much room. Yeah.
He's like, can I have like a toy? Can I do something in here?
Also, to be in a race scenario and not be sitting in the dead center of the car, and he's on like the left-hand side of the car, is probably like, the fuck?
Has to be weird. Yeah. But yeah, so that was great for him. But yeah, hopefully maybe we'll get to watch Max race in April.
Yeah.
It's very nice. They live stream him on YouTube. It's his, well, now it's Max Verstappen. It's not no longer Team Redline. They renamed themselves. But they had a live stream. Sky Sports had a live stream going on YouTube. So it was very easy to watch and figure out. So
to tune into it.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll figure it out. Next piece of news, Jack Crawford is driving in FP1 this weekend in Japan for Aston Martin. Fernando Alonso will not be driving. There was immediately, everyone's like, what did Jack do? Why is he being punished?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Why is he being punished? But yeah, I don't think it's really, why is he being punished? They're just, I think if Bahrain was happening, every team would have had a rookie in FP1.
Yeah.
And now Bahrain is not happening, so.
I wonder how much of it, too, like, not Jack being punished, but, like, how much of it as well was, like, Fernando's like, I need a fucking break from this car. You know?
Well,
like,
the
granted, he's
onboards-
getting a break for a month in April, but, like, Still, yeah.
The onboards from China looked miserable. Like, the way I forget if it was Alonso or Lance Stroll, they had to, like, take their hands off the steering wheel because it was shaking that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, it was hard to watch. Obviously Jack Crawford is driving an FP1. We don't know of any other teams doing it. I was kind of waiting for Red Bull to change one of them out so he could drive, but I think with the new regs and there's so much not working for some teams that no one's going to do it until later on in the season. I do think if Bahrain was happening that, FP1 and Bahrain would have had, every team would have had one rookie. But that's not happening. The other piece of news that I don't have listed on here that we have to talk about is Jonathan Wheatley leaving Audi.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
We almost forgot the fantasies. How do we not start with that?
How did we not write that down?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Remember, I was going through the articles and I swear it wasn't there, but yeah, Jonathan Wheatley to depart Audi F1 team. A shock to a lot of people. A huge shock. There's a lot of articles that were coming out because you don't officially know where he's going. But the strong rumor, when it's being reported by Autosport and Motorsport, saying that Jonathan Wheatley is most likely going to Aston Martin to be the team principal, so Newey can take a step back and just focus on the technical regs. It makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes sense. I think everyone understood Adrian Newey was not going to be team principal for long.
No.
I don't think he wanted to be team principal. First of all.
Yeah, so that's what I was just about to kind of like get into. It's like, as smart as Adrian Newey is, he is not a team principal. He is he's an engineer. He's a designer. Like
So I think I posted. I said he wants his notebook and at his drawing board, and that's where he wants to be left alone.
He also does not want to be front man. Like
no,
he just wants to work on the cars. And as much as he can now, because people know him so well, but like as much as he can, hide in the shadows of the car design, you know? So it's, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I'm excited. I'm happy that Aston Martin, they didn't wait that long to, make a change to, figure this out. But also crazy that the move you decided to not wait that long to make was to poach Jonathan Wheatley over to you. Allegedly, yeah. There's nothing. There's obviously all the stuff with the gardening leave coming into it. Like, how much time could he make? Because based on what Aston, it looks like Aston wants him to come in, tomorrow if they could. But I don't think that's going to happen. But Wheatley and Newey have a long history of working together, so that also makes sense. And in the one article from Motorsport, it said Wheatley looks like he has been endorsed, if not suggested to, Lawrence Stroll by Newey himself. So Newey went in with the plan. And then there was stuff on the other side with Wheatley that there was rumors his wife never fully moved over to Switzerland because that's where Audi was located. And so they were living super long distance. If he goes to Aston Martin Wheatley, it's down the road from where he worked at Red Bull. So they don't have to move. Home. Yeah, he can just go back home. And that he really kind of was level with Mattia Binotto. Mattia Binotto was acting maybe too much as a team principal. And Wheatley wasn't getting, his point across or something. So there was that. So I think, I did watch Wheatley's episode of Drive to Survive. And the man is, I got, James Vowles vibes, watching Jonathan Wheatley. Because, he just seems like the nicest guy. He seems super sweet and all that stuff. So everyone's like, no. And I'm like, no, I think it makes sense. It does make sense. It sucks for Audi because, you're a team kind of, finding your grips and everything. The last thing you want is for your team principal to be poached by another team. But on the Aston Martin side, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
and I think Wheatley and Newey working together back under the same team might be the best thing for Aston Martin because then,
absolutely,
said, Newey can fully focus on the issues with the car and hopefully make a change. But with Wheatley leaving, Audi put out a statement that Mattia Binotto would be taking over team principal roles. And this broke, on the same day, on the 4-year anniversary of the Ferrari 1-2 in Bahrain, of the 2022 season, and I have so many questions of what could have been that season if Mattia Binotto didn't F it up.
Yeah. That
Pisses me off.
what an anniversary to fucking make that announcement on.
Literally, like, I don't hate Mattia Bahana, but it takes, like, just from watching how good that season started that year to how bad it ended up and all the mistakes. Yeah. But yeah. That was the biggest piece of news that we almost forgot to talk about. So.
I cannot believe that we forgot about that we did not have that written down.
We were like, you were sitting there talking something, and I was like, wait a second. There was another piece of news that broke. I was like, hold on, let me scroll back. Literally 4 days ago. 4 days ago. But yeah, so that's weekly news.
Weekly news.
Japan. We're getting some special liveries for Japan.
Heck yeah, we are.
I have a feeling some special helmets are coming, and normally the helmets in Japan are stunning.
Crisp.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have, like, the emotional aspect, like when Charles did the replica of, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Oh my god.
This is gonna discredit us so fast. Charles did the replica helmet with the family, and originally
Jules
the family,
Bianchi. Oh,
Jules Bianchi. Wow.
It was not in my head at all. I'm so embarrassed.
This episode can never see the light of day.
No, it can end now. But Jules Bianchi, Jesus Christ. Take all the Ferrari Charles Leclerc stuff off my wall right now. But yeah, so like he had Charles that's done the helmet for Jules Bianchi, and it was like a side-by-side replica. Normally, there's just... Alex's last year was beautiful. Charles did one that was really pretty last year, so... But we get some special liveries. And from teams that you expect.
Right.
Haas, obviously, this year because of Toyota being one of their main sponsors. And they're doing a partnership with Godzilla.
Fuck. Just fuck.
And I love it.
Fuck yeah.
The merch is so good. I want to buy Dad a Godzilla Haas shirt.
I want to buy a Godzilla Haas shirt. Come on.
Then you have VCARB, who we all know VCARB kills a special livery.
Kills it. Special liveries always are just so clean, so crisp.
So good. This one is for the new flavor of Red Bull, cherry, which makes sense because we're going to Japan for cherry blossoms.
Yeah, that's good.
And then, I don't actually know why Mercedes has a wolf, but Mercedes has a wolf.
Alright, so part of, just kind of like leaning into this, part of this whole bit that we're doing here is I have not seen these liveries yet, so Casey's going to show them off to me live and get my thoughts on it. However, the only thing that I've seen so far is the Mercedes Wolf front wing, where the eyes are not...
Where it blinks?
Where it blinks.
Yeah, part of the front wing comes out and the eyes go full, so it looks like the eyes blink.
That's fucking cool, first of all.
I can show you the video.
I was going to say how the eyes are not centered on the front wing.
Oh, yeah, that pisses me off.
And it pisses me off. It really makes me angry.
But yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. We'll start with Mercedes, because I have their video up.
Okay. I feel like it's also like starting with the worst.
Yeah, I'm ending with one of the better ones. So,
good.
Please ignore my StubHub.
StubHub.
So it's actually at the correct part. So this is the front wing. And it's really only the front wing for Mercedes. Everything else is...
kind of the same?
Normal. Yeah. So you see
Boring.
the eyes look...
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The eyes open.
Okay.
I'll go back. So yeah, like it's not... Now, Ferrari is challenging their front wing because they think it's illegal. So... But, yeah, so that's
Is that really it?
Yeah, that's literally it. I have a photo I can show you. Join the pack.
What a fucking... Why a wolf?
I don't know. It makes me wonder the same thing. Why can't
It's
I
not...
just do...
Well, that was Chinese New Year. Is the year of the fire horse.
Yeah.
It's why a wolf?
I have to look it up. I think they're doing... Because they've been posting these, like, pictures of Toto. Well, not just Toto, but everyone doing, like, merch. But, so yeah, this is the full livery. Now...
That is nothing.
It's normal except for the front wing.
That sucks.
Yeah. So it's not
That's-
really. I feel like it's not. You can't even say it's a special livery. It's just like an additional decal.
Yeah.
And
That's
there's the close up of
poo-poo.
the wing.
Yeah, that's poo-poo. Oh, get the fucking eyes off this screen. God,
It
it makes me
also-
so mad.
It doesn't work because like the nose is like too thick,
Yeah.
so the eyes are too separated. But yeah. Next livery, Haas
Poo-poo.
for Godzilla.
Oh, we're going to this one. Okay.
Oh,
I can't see it.
can you see it?
I can see. Is there a better one of the car? Is there a closer up version of the car?
Yeah. Let me.
Or is that it?
Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on. This feels like, I don't know if you've seen the trend on TikTok or anything, but it's like what being like a guy feels like or something like that. Or it's like when you do like a really cool thing as a guy and it plays music and it starts with like a shark jumping out of the water and then it like quick cuts to like a hockey fight and then it quick cuts to Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I should show it to you. This feels like I'm loving it so far. I mean, it's so all right. So from this photo, it's your typical Haas, white, red, and black. The blending of the colors works extremely well.
Yes.
I can
And, like,
kind of
this
see.
That's
Go ahead.
not there originally.
Yeah, that looks cool. I like that.
It's like not the front. It's not the nose, but it's up near the halo. The numbers
Yeah.
I think are different.
I like the little Godzilla logo underneath the numbers too.
The Godzilla on the side.
Tell me that's fucking Godzilla doing his like atomic breath on the side or something.
Yeah, it is.
That's fucking awesome. That is amazing.
Yeah. This one's
Haas, man. Haas, whoever works
Like-
at Haas and is like their like color blender just knows like the exact portions of like this is how much of this color we should have, this is how much of this color we should have, and this is how much of white we should have to like balance it out. You know? That's fucking awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah, the whole side with Godzilla and the like him breathing is sick.
I like that it's so clearly him too.
Yes.
Like
I feel like even when that's driving, you're gonna be able to be like, oh yeah, that's Godzilla.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah. So that's Godzilla. Let me go to the Red Bull. Last year we got the white Red Bull. Remember?
We did, which is still like top 5 favorite livery of all time.
Yeah.
Is that white Red Bull?
Okay, here
Did we get
it
a
is.
white? Did we get a? I mean, VCARB's already white, but we said
VCARB's
cherry.
white.
So is it white and red?
Yeah, it's like a metallic red.
Oh my lordy!
Yeah, so I have their Instagram post up again. So yeah,
Oh, that looks so good.
it's VCARB going as taking inspiration from cans is perfect. It works every time. But it looks like,
This is
again, the
amazing.
numbers are different.
Yeah.
Like, they look like they're painted on. Yeah.
This is
It's
incredible.
just like a little different, but I still love it.
Yeah, but like again, those fucking white walls, man. Every time, they look so fucking cool.
Yeah.
The red, the again, like I'm gonna sound like a fucking broken record here, but like the use of the red and the proportions of the colors is perfect. It's beautiful.
And I
Give me a
do
give me a side shot again.
is this a good side shot?
No, go back. There was one other picture. Keep going. Yeah, that one. Yeah. I mean, that looks
I'm sorry.
beautiful. The red, like where the side pod comes down and like swoops where it says Visa, but then like the red that kind of curls around it and like goes in like behind it, behind the side pod, that looks beautiful. That is
It looks like
amazing.
Like, I feel like it does look like they're splashing the red, the drink on it. Like, that's what it looks like.
That made me want to buy one of those drinks.
Apparently it's really good.
That I wonder if I would hope the can looks like that, like the white and the red. But
yeah, the can. I think the can does look like that because that's what
looks
they're
exactly
pouring.
like it. Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, that is. Oh. I'm trying to pick between the two, what I like the best.
Yeah, don't even count Mercedes.
I'm not. You can't even count it as a special livery.
I think I like Haas a little better, and I don't know if it's because. It's Godzilla, and they're in Japan, so it's, like, so iconic. And the fact that Godzilla is on the side of the car.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with Godzilla here.
Yeah.
And I think it is, like, primarily a thing of just, like, fuck yeah. Like, just as, like, that is just, like, my inner, like, 5-year-old boy is just, like, that's cool. Like, that's fucking cool. And I like that. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
I think from a design aesthetic / side of it, the VCARB wins.
Yes.
But from just like a simple, just like, that's fucking cool, like, Haas.
And you know he's going to have a sick helmet? Esteban Ocon. I just know.
I hope he does. I hope he does like a Godzilla helmet.
Yeah. I trust one person on that grid to give us a cool, like, movie comic book style helmet, and it's Esteban Ocon. Who got to give us a clip from the Spider-Man trailer.
I mean, come on. The man's just living the perfect life.
The man's living his dream, his legit dream.
Yeah.
Now, Haas, if you could work some magic and give us a Spider-Man livery, Owen would be your #1 fan for the rest of his life.
Oh, I'd be buying merch every day. Every day.
When's the movie come out? July
31st.
Oh, yeah, not your birthday.
First movie trailer ever to cross 1 billion views on YouTube.
It was good. I liked everyone being like, Spider-Man's depressed and alone.
Yeah. It's like pure comic
Broke,
book.
depressed, and alone.
Like, yes, like Spidey lives alone in a dirt fucking shit apartment. He's depressed. He's got nobody, and people are like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, fantastic.
Man in real life is married. But yeah, that's our special liveries for this weekend. We'll just wait and see if we get some helmets. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm praying to God that SD gives us a Godzilla
I
helmet,
can see
him doing it.
Yeah, I can see both him and Ollie giving us a helmet. I can see the VCARB boys giving us a helmet. So and then we have, after this, we can look forward to Miami, and I have a feeling we're going to get a Cadillac special livery in Miami.
Probably. We'll probably get another VCARB one, because I have always done one in Miami so far.
If they can outdo the pink.
The pink's good. The pink is really good.
The pink's good, but, like, VCARB's Vegas livery last year was so perfect under the lights. And it was like that iridescent color. VCARB is so good.
We should do a ranking of special liveries, our favorite special liveries.
We can do that during March.
We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. You're right. That'd be tough.
Write it down.
That'd be really
tough.
That's
really tough. But yeah.
There's already like 3 at the top of my head where I'm like, ooh.
They all could be #1.
Yeah.
It is all VCARB.
Oh, shit.
It's all VCARB. VCARB's top 10.
It's all VCARB and fucking Red Bull. Shockingly.
Yeah. But yeah. That is the cars, predictions, double, IndyCar F1. IndyCar is back at Barber this weekend. Barber is where Georgina died.
Yeah, it's the weirdos. It's the weirdos course.
Yeah, but Georgina's the doll that fell on track mid-race.
Yes.
And then they made Scott McLaughlin take a photo. So yeah, it's not an oval. I'm going to go. I can go. My prediction, I'm going to go boring. Alex Palou.
All right, I'll go fun. David Malukas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay. I like it.
Japan.
I actually have a very solid prediction in my head.
Okay, let's hear it.
And I have a reasoning. So I'm going to do Charles, Lewis, George.
Wow. Okay.
Now, okay, Ferrari has looked good.
Yeah.
If you look at the track, and where Ferrari looks good is in the turns and corners. And Japan is literally all turns.
All turns.
So I feel like Mercedes isn't going to be able to get far enough ahead. Like the past few races. So, yeah, I think we get a Ferrari
because China
one too.
has those 2 really long straights. So yeah.
Yeah. And in Japan, you have the S section.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll do Charles,
right.
Lewis, George.
I'm going to go Lewis P1.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Lewis P1. I gotta try to help my boy out as much as I can. Oscar P2, because that man needs to drive a lap.
Yeah.
And he needs to figure out a way to get back into drivers fights, driver standing fight.
Yeah.
P3. Fuck it, I'll go Charles.
Okay.
Yeah, Lewis, Oscar, Charles.
I like that podium.
Yeah.
Whoa, we need Oscar to finish because that post I sent you today.
Yeah.
It's actually insane to think about. So I posted today, don't forget Oscar hopefully makes his season debut this weekend. Someone said, if he doesn't start this weekend, he won't be turning a single GP lap until May.
Crazy.
That's insane. That's insane.
Imagine being an Oscar fan and the only thing you've been able to watch him in so far is
practice and qualifying.
Practices. Yeah, that's it.
A sprint race maybe, but
that's
practice
fucking
and qualifying.
crazy.
It's insane. But yeah, that's all we had for you today.
Yes.
Owen has something else that is coming.
I have. So what you guys are going to listen to next is our second episode in the Creators Kit series. I had a blast filming this one. So there will be a little intro at the start too, because she does so much that I'm not going to butcher what she does. But her name is Sarah Levenson. She is wonderful. She's such a joy to hang out with and enjoy to interview and and just talk to. So you guys are going to listen to that interview. There's also the YouTube video that is up live now as at the time if you're listening to this episode. So you can go watch just the interview or you can listen to it now. It was honestly truly a blast, conducting this interview. It was so much fun. So thank you for Sarah for doing that. Thank you guys for listening. The interview is going to close out the episode. So have fun listening to that. Make sure to go follow us over on our social media channels at Underground Circuit _ is our Instagram and Threads. UG Circuit Pod is our Twitter. And then Underground _ Circuit is our TikTok as well. Make sure to go follow us over there. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the interview with Sarah, and we will see you after Japan.
See you next week.
See you later, people. Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Creators Kit, where I am sitting down with photographers, content creators, video people, anything in the motorsport world that uses tech and uses technology to make new content and bring wonderful stories to people. Today I have with me Sarah Levenson, and thank you for joining me, Sarah. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
So I was prepping for our interview, and I was like, I'm gonna try to do a nice introduction and everything and make sure that I list out everything that you do. But I was like, you just do so much, so I didn't want to get it wrong. So I was like, please give us a short little intro, who you are, what you do, why you love motorsports, etc.
Yeah, I think that's honestly very on brand for me, that a lot of people don't really know everything that I do, and I try my best to talk about all of it on the internet and in person, but it sometimes just gets lost in the mix because, as you said, I just kind of have my hand in a little bit of everything. So primarily my quote to quote 9 to 5 or full-time job is I run a marketing agency called Blue Flag Communications. It's 50% motorsports, 50% software and tech, and primarily everything that falls under marketing. So PR, social content, I do some investor relations in the tech world.
Right.
So, just the marketing umbrella that it typically tends to kind of encompass everything. And then as a pastime passion project, my friend Samantha and I run an account called GridClick. And that was when we started it in 2021, was primarily focused on trying to bolster and improve the awareness and recognition of women in motorsports and diversity in motorsports. We definitely still have that focus. We'll always have that focus. But when we started, we really wanted to start with the anticipation that we won't need to exist forever. We basically just found that there was a lot of women coming to us saying that they didn't feel like there was a space to talk about motorsports in almost like a safe way, because there was a lot of environments where they would feel that, if they were a new fan, that they just didn't know enough and they didn't deserve a voice, or, they're a woman and everything that comes layered with that. So we started it, and again, with the whole purpose of hopefully one day we don't have to exist, and hopefully one day this doesn't have to be the case. And very amazingly, in the last few years since we've started that, there have been so many female communities that have built and grown and flourished into this wonderful community that we have, and this wonderful environment that we have. So we were able to almost like take a step away from that super hyper focus on women in motorsports and kind of broaden our focus more on just general accessibility in motorsports. So we started in F1. Now we cover anything as it comes to IMSA, IndyCar, NASCAR, WEC, that almost, if it has four wheels, you're there. Probably done something along those lines. In the next 2 years, I really want to start doing MotoGP as well. So it's going to go from 4 into also 2. So yeah, that's kind of the main gist is my full-time life, being, in the marketing world in motorsports and beyond motorsports. And then, as a passion project, still talking about accessibility in motorsports and trying to show the world all of the amazing racing that there is, F1 included, but, way beyond the walls of F1 as well.
Yeah. Well, that's what again, when I was like trying to figure out a way to introduce you, I was like, there's just so many series here that she covers and talks about and everything. So that's awesome that you're thinking about doing MotoGP. I don't watch MotoGP, but like I'll occasionally catch it on TV, and it fascinates me every time.
It looks crazy.
It is so cool.
It looks like a whole new world that I'm frothing at the mouth to jump into, but as it currently stands, there's already so much happening on Saturdays and Sundays that trying to add another to the list is like, okay, what time do I have in my day to do that? But, I'm determined. I'm sure that I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Yeah. Well, that is awesome. Again, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to take you through the creative processes as I have determined it, between the capture, organize, edit, publish, and analyze phases. So just kind of walking you through the tech tools that you use to make this happen. So starting with capture, I want to jump in here. I'm really happy you put this in the form that I sent you. You said all of your ideas go into Apple Notes, and I love that. I am like an Apple super user. So like, how does that workflow go? Do you just like when an idea pops into your head, it's literally just like Apple Notes gets opened up and written down? What is that like?
Yeah, so I have starting off context, I have ADHD and I have severe ADHD.
Me too.
So
Me too. Yes.
Everything needs to be written down in some way, shape, or form. I love a list. When I was growing up, I like to tell myself I was type B, but like I've always been type A, and I just didn't really realize that until college. And I was like, oh, I have to like have systems in order to function.
Yes.
That could be useful. So everything is written down in some capacity. And I've just found that Apple Notes is the easiest because I can, I have it on both my computer and on my phone. So it doesn't matter where I am. I can be able to write things down or get access to lists or anything. So I have a master note for kind of the whole season. Doesn't matter what series, anything. It just literally says like 2026 season at the top. And I have a bank of like content of inspiration or ideas that I've, thought of that I want to have written down in like one paragraph. And then underneath that, I break it down by race. So like for Daytona, what I'll do is like, okay, if I know I want to take 2 ideas from my list, I'll put that in the Daytona kind of section of the note. and, include any relevant links or audios or, whatever you need for that. And then I will just sometimes add certain things to like a race specific list as well, not necessarily pulling from the top. And then beneath that, within the race itself that I'm talking about, I'll also have like a research section. So like if there's any content pieces that I need to be doing research for, create other lists for before I create the content, all of that information will be there as well. So I have them in toggle lists. So, the primary bank of content ideas on top, and then a toggle list of what race it is. So let's say, it's Daytona Rolex 24.
Right.
The bulleted list of content ideas, and then under that, a toggled list within the race of all of like the research and notes or anything else. So that way it's all in one place. And then once the race is done, I have them like as like the checkbox bullets.
Yes.
I can
as
soon as it's posted, I can click that it's done. It'll be moved to the bottom. And then after the race, I can just toggle the, race closed. And so it's not going to take up a ton of space. Or let's say I had content ideas put in for Rolex that I didn't get to. I can move it back up to like the notes, the ideas list at the top to be able to use for a different race. So it's taken me a few years to create this system. I've tried to do so many different ways. And last year we started making content really in 2020, but started going to races after COVID in 2021. And so since 2021, I've been trying to figure out a good system. And last year was the year that I like nailed the system, like after 4 years.
That is incredible. And this is like selfishly why I wanted to start this series, because this was like, that's the stuff that I love. Like people just being like, hey, I have this tool and I'm just going to build out this exact system that I need. Yeah. And it works perfectly and everything. And the fact that you took 4 years to build it and perfect it and do everything. Oh, I love that stuff.
Well, it takes time to figure out what works, right? So like I have Notion and I use Notion for some things, but I just don't naturally go to Notion as easily as I do Apple Notes, right? Or Apple Notes is also just a lot easier to share collaboratively. So like I can have this collaborative note shared with Samantha as well. So that way she can keep track of everything that's going on. She can see everything. It just makes it a very easy system. Yeah,
absolutely. That is why like a lot of people go to Apple. It's just because it's like the ease of use of it. And it's like super quick and I love it. So so then side question, what do you use Notion for? What is that? Is that capturing or is that like organizing it?
Notion is more, I use it for a lot of personal things. I have all of like my packing lists for all of my races. So
smart.
I can just every year, I'm going to St. Pete again. I can just duplicate my packing list from last year and use the same thing. And then that way I also, all of my race packing lists will have like all of my tech listed there as well, right? So in my personal items, I will have like everything I need, my microphones, cameras, XYZ, and that way I won't forget anything when I'm packing. So that's more, I guess technically it's kind of work related, but it's more personal.
No, that makes sense. I played around with Notion using it like on my own too for a little bit, and I loved it when I had it. But I eventually just like went back to the Apple Notes and everything, and I was like, it reigns supreme. Yeah. It's incredible. So you mentioned right there, you said you bring in microphones, cameras, and everything, and you told me that you have your iPhone 16 Pro, you have your Fujifilm X100V and DJI mics when you go and bring content and everything. So let's paint the picture. You're at St. Pete. You're packing up, ready to go to the racetrack in the morning. How do you decide what comes with you? Is it just everything? Or are you like, you know what, today is just iPhone and DJI mics and that's it? Or is it, what's that process like?
I am a pack mule. I'm a bag lady. I bring everything with me that I will ever need in my life. I thankfully, again, since it's very, 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 very rare. I don't think I've been to one race, maybe two in the last 4 years that I wasn't credentialed media. So I have access to a media center and a seat at a place that I can leave all my things. Most races are, secure enough that I can leave my laptop and walk away, leave my camera and walk away because there's security in a room. And, there's a few races where I don't leave everything behind, but I just bring everything to the track with me. And if I don't touch it all day and it sits in the media center all day, that's fine, but I'd rather have it and not use it. So everything comes with me.
Absolutely. I when we went to St. Pete last year, I had borrowed my wife's like crossbody bag. And it was incredible to carry everything. I was like hands-free, but I had enough space for like a camera, my headphones, my microphone. Like my phone was always in my back pocket that I could just like snap it out and record if I needed to. That's yeah. It makes sense, dude. Just like you said, you're bringing everything. 'Cause it's you never know with the media spots and everything too. It's a nice. I agree with you. It's better to have it than to not have it.
Yeah, and like if I'm gonna bring my bag and leave everything in the media center and I'm gonna go to pit lane and I don't necessarily know what I'm gonna need in pit lane, my like usual on my body 99% of the time anyway is my phone, my mics, and my camera, just because I'll always have pockets, and so I'll have my phone in my pocket, I'll have my DJI mics in another pocket, and I'll have like my camera just like strapped around me. And I'm hands free and it's not carrying too much on me, but that is, you know, everything I would need in order for, you know, content creation or content capture, those three things. So it's pretty easy to carry those around.
So, okay. So that kind of leads me to my next question then. When you're in pit lane, you're taking photos. Do you switch between, like, do you take a photo with the Fujifilm and then grab your iPhone and take a shot? Or are you like, I'm going to stick with Fujifilm for a little bit? How does that work?
Yeah, there's a few factors, and there's definitely been a lot of times where I'm like, I know that there's gonna be a moment coming up, so like either you know, a pit stop that I want to be able to capture on both, and I've tried doing both at the same time, some successfully, some not. But it's really dependent on a few factors. I think first and foremost is at that point when I'm in pit lane, 99% of the time I have an idea of the content that I'm looking to capture. You know, from my ideas of kind of the B-roll that I need, or, you know, if I'm making an informational, educational video about how a pit stop works, then obviously I would prioritize my phone because I'm doing video. I don't really use my Fuji for video too much, just because it's not really made for video. You know, certain cameras are made for certain things. I can take video on it, but it's kind of shaky and the audio quality is trash. So if it's video, it's always, you know, 99% of the time it's on my phone. So, you know, if it's content dependent of something that I'm looking strictly to capture, it's phone. If I have to make a choice between the two, what I'll typically do is, if it's something that I know is going to repeat itself, so like a pit stop, I know that I'm going to be able to capture hopefully more than one pit stop in a time in pit lane. I'll do the first few with my phone. And then if I have time, I will be able to go around and take photos with my camera. And kind of the exception to that rule really is, it was funny, I was actually talking about the head of digital and social at IMSA about this probably 2 weeks ago. His name is Doug O'Donnell, and he's fabulous. He's great. And he has this thing where I work with the IMSA digital and social team on some of their strategic initiatives, and I've become very close with the team, and I work hand in hand with the team most weekends, working kind of on behalf of IMSA, but on behalf of RigClick. It's kind of hard to explain, but I've worked with their team pretty closely, and we collaborate on a lot of content for IMSA. And I've worked with them. This is going to be really my third season working with them, my second full-time season, but I got to know them back in 2024, so really my third season. And Doug always makes a joke of every time I walk into the office and I'm like, all right, guys, like, what are you looking for today? Is there anything specifically you need? Is there any events? Is there any, you know, angle? Is there anything that you are looking to talk more about on your channels? And, you know, obviously sometimes they'll tell me what, you know, they have going on, especially if it comes to, oh, we have this free event for kids, if you can go cover that, or, you know, obviously very things that are pertinent to our channel as well as to what they're doing. But a lot of the times Doug just looks at me and he just goes, find a moment, Sarah. And I go, okay, Doug. And it works. Like, there are things that obviously you plan for going into the weekend, but I found obviously the algorithm is the algorithm and you can't really predict it. And the things that always, I feel like any creator can relate to this, the things that succeed the most oftentimes are ones that aren't necessarily planned. So a lot of like the viral videos that I've done with IMSA have been literally those moments of, you know, there was one of them that it was like 11 p.m. or no, it was like sunset at the 24-hour Rolex race at Daytona. And I was visiting my friend who had a trailer, and I was standing on top of the trailer looking at the banking, and I saw that there was a group of like 5 cars coming together, and I was like, okay, that's sick. Like, it doesn't happen super often in sports cars. It happens more often than not, thankfully. That's why we love sports cars. But it was just like with the sunset in the background, and I just took that video because I was like, that's going to be cool. And it got like 3 million views, like just because it's a moment, right? And so in those instances, most of the time, again, I'm going to use my phone because most of the time they're video. But I'm also just a photo nerd. I wanted to be a photographer growing up. I wanted to go to college for photography. My parents said, absolutely not. If we're paying for your college education, which thankfully they did, and I'm forever grateful, they said, you will not be going to school for photography. And I said, okay, yeah, I'd really pay for it. Then I guess do what I want, but that's fine. So I'm selfishly always going to be taking pictures just kind of for my own joy. And like those don't, I'll send them to IMSA if they want them, but for most time it's really just for me and just to my own joy. So it is very, very long-winded answer of saying I do use both. Sometimes it's planned, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just kind of go with your gut and see what happens.
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's those moments where it's like, it just in your gut, you're like, I know that this is going to be a great photo or video or whatever it is, and that you have the tools, ready to kind of grab that moment in the moment is incredible. Yeah. So I want to kind of like shift over to organizational stuff now, and you kind of touched on it with Apple Notes, but you talked about like when you're working with IMSA and you go in and you say, hey, we want this, or what do you guys need from me today? Is there a different way that you organize that between your like client commitments versus your personal commitments? Like, how do you balance that? Is it still just like the Apple Notes? What's that look like?
Yeah. So for races that I'm primarily there for client work, they're always going to obviously take priority. I love the content creation stuff, but gotta prioritize paying for my rent and paying the bills. And I obviously love my clients that I work for. So thankfully, usually how it works is the races that I'm there primarily for client work. Most of my motorsports clients I've met through GridClick in some capacity, or they know about GridClick. Right. So they know, then they give me free rein to do GridClick stuff outside of my primary work commitment. So like, for example, at St. Pete, I was there primarily to help with Christian Rasmussen. I was doing the PR for a merch collab that he was doing with a female brand, and there was proceeds going to female women in motorsports. So obviously it still is something that I love, but it was a client project. It was a PR project. So any commitments that I had for that would always come first. But outside of what work needs to be done in that capacity, everyone's so happy for me to be doing GridClick stuff as well. And so it's there's only been one race in my mind over the last few years that I was like felt very overwhelmed because I signed myself up to do way too many things in a race weekend. Right. And there was the 2024 season. I was doing the full season of PR for an IndyCar team, and so any race that I was there for the IndyCar team, I obviously was in team kit doing full PR for them. And so some races I just wasn't able to do GridClick stuff because time just didn't allow, and that's okay. It is what it is, right? So I wish GridClick could take up more of my priorities sometimes, but that's just not always the case, right? I have to do my work first. Yeah. So most of the time I'm doing my PR stuff and my marketing stuff, I know what I'm doing. I don't really have to have it written down necessarily. I have to have written down as like my schedule, but again, for the most part, I have a lot of my schedule just like in the back of my head already. I know everything that's going on. So that's not, I don't put my schedules together like that. Like I wouldn't put my work stuff into my like content note, for example, because they're just like two separate parts of my brain.
Yep. I know exactly what that feels like. It's just like two separate pillars, and it's just like this one doesn't go even near this one. It's exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what was you told the story with him about how they, when you walk in, you ask the question, what do you guys need today? And they're just like, get what you want. What was, if you can remember, what was the first time that happened? What was that like? Was that like nerve wracking? Was it just, because that's kind of, to me at least, I'm also a list person. So like if someone can look at me and say, hey, I need this shot of this, and this video of this, I'm like, cool, I can get you that. I have full confidence. Mm-hmm. The moment that somebody's like, You're good. You can figure it out. I'm like, that's where I'm like, like, can I? So like, what was that moment like for you the first time?
I actually really like it.
Oh, okay.
Just because, yes, of course, I can. If someone asks me to go get certain content of certain things, that's very straightforward and easy to do.
Yeah.
But I like having the freedom of being able to walk around and find those moments, because I think one of the most beautiful things about motorsports is when you're at a race and on the ground, you see so many amazing things that you just aren't shown on TV, right? The racing is shown on TV, but the infield with all of the fans, drinking together, hanging out, making new friends, people engaging with each other, or kids running around. Like, you obviously don't see that on TV. And in my opinion, I think that's one of the most special things is the community and is the fandom and is, the corner behind a bathroom that no TV is located at, but it has a really cool view of a really cool section of the track that, you can get really interesting content from, right? So I like being able to have the time and the freedom and the flexibility to explore those things. And listen, sometimes Doug says go find a moment, and I come back at the end of the day, I'm like, listen, I got nothing.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And it's not a deal breaker. They understand, because at the end of the day, anything that I provide them is a bonus to them. They wouldn't get anything that I'm providing them without me, obviously. So, and I kind of know how they work, and I know what they're looking for, and I know what they would like. And thankfully, and I think that's why we work so well together, is it really aligns well with what I like, right? So during a pre-race grid where an IMSA is an open grid and anyone can go into pit lane and look at the cars and talk to the drivers. There's so many kids, there's dogs, people are like dressed up in costumes. Like, it's such a fun environment that it's almost very difficult to not find cool moments that are happening that wouldn't be shown elsewhere.
That's awesome. That's such a cool moment. And I remember when Casey and I first went to Miami for the Formula One race, and that was our first F1 race and our first ever like motorsport event in general.
Huge.
When we crossed over the bridge, like into the inner part of the track and just like in the fields with the stands, and like you said, all the fans and everything, I was like, this is incredible in here. It's just such a unique experience to be in that moment. And that's, awesome. So in the form I sent you, you mentioned that like when you're taking photos and everything, you're storing them across kind of like iCloud, OneDrive. Do you have any sort of like physical media that you're carrying to store photos, or is it just all iCloud, and then when you get back, you're kind of pulling them down from the cloud and everything? What does that look like, or your on track storage look like?
So 99% of the time, obviously everything I capture on my phone stays on my phone. If I'm taking it on my camera, my Fujifilm, I can actually airdrop straight from my camera to my phone. So if I need something immediately, I'll just share it straight to my phone. If I take 500 pictures in a day and I need to sift through them and I have time at the end of the day to do that, I'll upload them to my computer, and that's when they go to OneDrive. And just because it's when I'm obviously putting an SD card into my computer, I want to have it on my computer files, and I can access my OneDrive from my phone as well if I need to.
Right.
So I'm able, in my brain, it doesn't really matter if it's iCloud or OneDrive. I know I can access it somewhere. And then at the end of the race weekend, which I'm bad at keeping up with and I need to be better at, is I try to download everything from my SD card and clear out my SD card after a race. Last season, I think I went 10 races without doing that. And so I had, I have like a 2 terabyte SD card, so it was fine. But I was like getting to the point where one more race would have put me over. I was like, I need to clear out my SD card. And like, if something happens to my camera or if something happens to the SD card, if it corrupts, like I'm losing all of that, because there were obviously things that I had sent to my phone, but anything I hadn't sent to my phone only lived in my camera. So I'm trying to be better at it this year. I'm trying to, after every single race, upload all of my photos onto my computer just so I can have them in one repository.
That's good. Yeah. That is a scary thought of like having the physical only media, and then it's like, oh crap, now I have to, if I lose this one thing, I'm done.
Or like if, let's say, my water leaks in my bag and the SD card gets wet and it gets corrupted or something, like if this camera ever goes on me, I will be very, very upset because I've had it. It took me a very long time to track it down and find, because this was back in the day where this is that 100V and it was all sold out and nobody was reselling it. If they were reselling it, it was like twice the price. And every single race for 6 months, I went on Facebook Marketplace in that city and looked for this camera. And I finally was able to get it. Chicago Street Course, NASCAR's first year, which was 23, like June
that's so
2023,
cool.
July 2023. And this thing is my baby. Like I spent a pretty penny on it. I'm not gonna lie, but any camera nowadays is expensive, and the cost per use I've gone on this thing is pennies now. But I don't want to replace her anytime soon. So I'm knock on wood, nothing has happened yet. So I really hope nothing happens. But yeah, we're not manifesting that energy.
That's awesome. I mean, that is, it's such a cool camera. I've looked into that camera like a tiny little bit. I go on these like kicks where I'm like really interested into like some form of whatever niche hobby, and recently it was photography, and I was like, oh, I should get a camera, and I looked it up and I was like, I'm not gonna this is not gonna go well. I love that it also has the airdrop feature. That is just so handy and like such a useful experience to have. It's just like I don't even need to like leave where I'm at, and I can just drop it over to my phone like right away. That is amazing. The
number of times I've taken pictures of friends and like a minute later, I text it to them. They're like, how did you do that? I'm like, oh, I just sent it to my phone. Like, it just took it. I didn't edit it or anything, but you have it now.
That's like one of those things that it's like, I think of like stupid tech that they're putting like Wi-Fi and everything in, where it's like, why does my dishwasher need Wi-Fi? But it's like, that's one of those things where it's like, oh, this makes sense that you put Bluetooth in a camera, because this is a great functionality for it. And it's awesome. So when you edit all these photos and everything, and you're moving through them and everything, you said that you natively edit them in app. Is that videos? Actually, I should like put a disclaimer there. So like when you're editing videos, you're just doing it straight in like TikTok or Instagram.
I typically it depends on the piece of content. If it's like a trend to a trending audio, I'll usually just do it in Instagram, and I save it on Instagram. I need to get better at using TikTok. I don't post on TikTok a lot, and I know I should be because I'm making the video anyway, so I might as well. That kind of goes to the wayside. That's a whole other conversation. But I usually edit natively in Instagram. But if it's something that's more like it's not a trend or it's not a specific audio, it's not something like that. Most of the time, if it's like an educational video, if I'm doing voiceovers, I'll always do that in CapCut. I've done it on Adobe Premiere before. I have Adobe Premiere, but on my phone, CapCut is just a lot easier. It's simpler. It's more straightforward. I don't necessarily love Instagram's native editing. I know that they have a new app now, Edits. I have not. I don't know anything about that. I've only ever done it within Instagram itself. But I've just found that CapCut is super easy. It has all of the transitions I need. It has all of the templates I need. It has all of the fonts I need. It's just very easy to do quickly on my phone or on my computer, because I have it on my computer as well. And then if it's something like we used to probably years ago do like long form videos on YouTube, that is when I'd really use Premiere, just because that's obviously trying to compile hours and hours of footage into a small thing. It's a much bigger project than just quickly kind of doing a voiceover and clipping something together.
Right. So when you do it on CapCut, are you editing like live, like right there at the track? Or is it like once you go home for the day, it's like, all right, let me filter through and see. I can imagine you mentioned like doing like voiceovers and everything. I can imagine that's post race. You're like back home and chilling out and everything. But like, is there anything that you quickly like take it and you're editing it right away? Or you're at least like maybe adding it to like a timeline?
It's funny you say that. Again, this is something I'm really bad at, is like once I'm off the racetrack, either during race weekend or once I'm home, my brain just goes right back to work. And so I don't really think about content. I don't really edit a lot of content at home. And that's why GridClick is not as successful as some other communities. It's just because neither Samantha nor I have the time or the bandwidth to devote a lot of that time outside of the races that we go to, just because we do have full-time jobs and there's a lot going on. So when you're like, oh, I'm sure that when you do your voiceover, it's like when you're home. No, When I'm doing my
No.
voiceovers, I'm like hidden under a desk with a sweatshirt over my head, telling everyone around me to stay quiet. And like, or trying to find like a hidden room in the back of the media center. In Daytona, I had to do a voiceover for a video, an informational video we were doing. And like, there was this like secret hallway out of like the back of the media center that leads to like an office. And that office during race weekend is kind of empty. But then halfway through, sometimes there'd be like janitors walking through, and like I'm trying to like record something, and then like someone's vacuuming, and I'm like, oh crap, okay, I gotta start that again.
Right,
Like,
let me do that one more time.
or a lot of times I'll look at the race schedule, I'm like, okay, there's a 20-minute break where the track is cold. I can go to find a place on track that not a ton of people are going to be at, and I know that no cars are going to be on track, and I'll do it outside. It's not a perfect system, but the microphones are really good, and I think that there's also an authenticity in that as well. Like if you hear cars in the background of a voiceover, oh, shocking, I'm at a racetrack because I'm talking about racing. So, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world. But yeah, there's definitely been times where I've like gone to interview drivers, and the only time that they have is when the track is hot, and the only place they can do it is because they have 5 minutes in the paddock and it's like so loud. And there's times where I've had to scrap content because we've done an interview and you can't hear a freaking thing, or like, you know, whatever the issue is, right? So, again, it's not a perfect system, but you just find workarounds. You find ways to do it.
Honestly, when we were starting this journey, I was like looking up tons of things of just like, you know, how to record like great voiceovers, you know, how to do this, how to do that. And the one thing I kept coming across was like, if you're going to do a voiceover, one of the best places to do it is literally just like a jacket closet.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you're locked in, everything is muffling the sound. And I forget, we were doing a video for, I think it was the F1 arcade, and I needed to do a voiceover for it. And I was like, let me go upstairs in my closet real fast. And I like shut the door, recorded it. I listened back to it. I was like, oh, this sounds incredible. Like, and I was just like, perfect.
Yeah.
So I get that. Just so like, let me go hide away somewhere, throw a jacket over my head and record right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So, okay. So you mentioned that you used to do like longer form YouTube videos and everything. I was going to ask like, where is the line for when you would pull something into Premiere? But it sounds like it was when you guys did, you know, YouTube videos. You don't do that more so as often now. Is there still like anything that is just like, all right, this maybe would be better in Premiere, or no?
Not really, just because a lot of the content that we're doing doesn't require it. Like CapCut has everything that I need, and that sounds like, I think at the beginning of the journey, I felt very weird about, coming from, the advertising, marketing, PR world, where anytime I need to edit a video for a corporate job was always going to be in an Adobe Suite product, and it was never going to be on CapCut. And when I started, and it's the same like with Canva, like I use Canva now instead of Photoshop or Illustrator. When, for years, all I used was Photoshop or Illustrator. And now I'm like, anything I really need is kind of in Canva. And it feels weird, but like sometimes, especially as it comes to content creation, specifically the content that we're creating, it's just not that deep. It doesn't require that level of stuff. We don't need all the bells and whistles. We need a way to cut clips, fix audio if we need to fix audio, and add some overlays and images sometimes.
Right.
And you can do all of that in CapCut. I don't need to have, I obviously still pay for the Adobe Creative Cloud, unfortunately, for my job, but we don't need to take all of that out and use all the bells and whistles because we don't need it.
It is amazing, honestly, like how many either free or like low cost tools. And I say low cost because Adobe is so like exuberantly expensive. It's insane. But like how many free or low cost tools there are to like get the job done. Yeah. And I wholeheartedly agree with you with like when you the CapCut thing. Like that would be my first thought to it. I'd be like, I've done Adobe like as long as I can remember. And I'm going over to this app called CapCut. Like what is that? This isn't going to look good. And then you finish the video and you're like, oh, wow, this looks great. Like,
and it was easy.
I did a great,
And we do pay for Pro on both Canva and CapCut, but I think both of them, like Canva every year is like $100 or something. Yeah. And CapCut is like, I don't know, $80 a year. And so for us, I'm able to use it for my full-time job as well and the stuff that I'm doing for clients on track. So I'm able to tax deduct it as part of my business.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm still paying for it, obviously.
Right.
But I would pay $200 to be able to use both of those free reign pro.
Yeah.
Easy.
Did you, okay, so when, I don't know how much you follow like Apple specific news, but when they came out with the Creator Studio, did you look into that, or did you know about that drop coming out or no?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, okay, so
Sorry.
short version, Apple came out with a thing called Creator Studio, and it's essentially like it's Final Cut Pro, it's Logic Pro, it's a bunch of like, it's kind of like Canva, but it's meant for creators kind of to compete with Adobe, and it's only like $12.99 a month. And when it dropped, everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is great. You know, this is so much cheaper than Adobe. But you have your workflows in CapCut and Canva set up and everything. So yeah, you absolutely stick with what you know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, switching over from the Adobe stuff to CapCut, you'd be like, whoa, like this is weird. But then yeah, you get into it and you're like, all right, this is totally fine. It looks perfectly normal.
Yeah, I definitely cringed at myself at first because in my mind, obviously there's coming as like a working professional, like trying to use a Canva as a working professional or like CapCut as a working professional I was like, ooh, like I'm using CapCut and Canva now. This is a little
feels
cringy.
A little icky.
And I don't mean to be mean with that. It's just like drilled in my brain. I graduated college in 2017 and I've been, you know, in corporate environments for the last 9 years of my life, pretty much. And that's just like what's drilled into you. And then after like the first few videos and the first few things in CapCut, or in Canva as well, I was like, this is great. Like, this is awesome. And I like dropped all of my judgments immediately. And I shouldn't have judged in the first place. I should not have.
No, but I mean, you're right though. Like what Adobe does really well is they have that like mindset of like, if I want professional grade videos, images, stuff like that, I'm using Photoshop, I'm using Premiere Pro. So yeah, it makes sense that you would come out and thinking that, and any other tool you're originally just going to be like, ooh, like I don't know how I feel about this. But no, we use Canva. I love it. I think it's so easy to use and it's so nice, and I like that it's on my Mac, it's on my iPad, it's on my phone. I can pick something up on my Mac and finish it and go on to my iPad later, and 3 hours later I'm right back where I started on my iPad. So I really do enjoy that. It's nice. So when you are publishing stuff, you know, obviously you finish up your stuff in CapCut, you finish up your stuff in Canva. Are you scheduling it? Is that dependent on like grid click stuff or client deliverable stuff? Like, are you batch scheduling? Is it spur of the moment? Just like, all right, I finished this TikTok or I finished this Instagram. Here you go. Like now, and I'm just gonna, you know, toss it out there. How do you organize, I guess, all of the publishing part of it?
So I do not execute social for any of my clients. That's at least up until this point, it has not been a service that I've offered.
Right.
Sounding like it might be something I'm going to be doing soon, apparently. But I've always, social execution, videos, content stuff has always primarily just been for GridClick or GridClick/IMSA, which is the same thing in my opinion. So I think that's kind of first. If I was doing it for client stuff, I think I'd definitely use the scheduling feature a lot. I think I'd be approaching things differently. But since I'm primarily doing it through GridClick, it's again kind of a mixed bag on the content in that day, right? So if I'm taking content of like a driver autograph session that I want to get out immediately, I'm just going to edit that and get it out immediately because it's talking about what happened that day. Or if I'm doing a preview of something, so I'm at the track on a Thursday to get B-roll and content and edit a video that I know that I want to post like the morning of the race to be like, this is what to look out for during the race, then that's something that I don't usually schedule it. I'll usually just like set an alarm and still do it myself because I should probably trust the scheduling system, but I just don't. I'd rather be hands-on and post it myself and do it myself. Or also like, for example, if it's a piece of content that is going to be collaborated with IMSA, I'll have it edited, saved in my drafts. And then when I get to the tracker, if I'm already on track and I've edited it, I just walk into their office, I show it to them physically and I say, hey, are you good with this? And usually they're like, yep, okay, good. And then either I say, okay, when is, open time in your posting schedule? So during sessions, they are very good at posting all of the competition stuff. So if we're posting anything that's not competition focused, so anything that's not directly on track or, performance or something, they'll typically say it's like, okay, we have like these 3 posts going out about like who qualified positions, whatever in the next hour. So why don't we do in like 2 hours? And I'm like, okay. So I just set an alarm for 2 hours from then. I post it, add them as a collaborator and that's that. It's kind of rare that I've just found in this case, I think it's very rare for me to create and edit content way before it goes out. I
Right.
usually do it same day. Like I'll go out, take the video, do the voiceover, edit it, and post it.
Damn.
And usually just do it all at once. Just because that's what works for me. If I'm sitting on a bunch of drafts, my ADHD brain just kind of forgets that they're there. And of course I have to list, but then it gets to Sunday and I have 3 things sitting in my draft and nothing's posted. And I'm then posting 3 things in a day and So I think I typically will edit and post at that time or same
at that
day,
moment.
Very, worst case next day. Or again, if I know that I want to post something on Sunday, but I need B-roll from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll be filming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then edit and post on Sunday.
Nice. Okay. So, all right. So that kind of raises an interesting question then with the client deliverable side of it. Is there have there ever been any portals or anything that you've delivered content to, or is it literally just how you described it, where it's you walk into a room, they're sitting there and you're like, hey, cool with this? And they're like, yeah, and that's it. Is it pretty much that a manual?
Yeah, I usually just show it to them, and then sometimes, Rob, who is one of the guys that works on the IMSA team, if he sees a clip in a video, he's like, "Oh, can you send me the raw version of that?" And it will airdrop him whatever videos he wants. Or they were doing a content piece last year about all the kids that show up to the track because it's kids 12 and under are free at IMSA.
Right.
So throughout the season, I was taking content, of families and such. Obviously getting people's permission and everything. But, I was kind of taking that content over the season and I airdropped it to him at the end. The last race of the season, we were talking about that. And I was you know what? I've taken so many videos of dogs at the racetrack that I've never done anything with. And he's like, great, let's do something with it. So I sent him all the videos and he ended up posting it just on IMSA because I had the content and I was like, I'm not using it. So here you go. And he's like, great, cool. And I literally just airdrop it to him. And that's pretty much it.
That's all. I mean, it's nice that it's I don't know. In my head, I've always had this idea that it's such a well-built organization and everything, and they all have these extensive workflows. But like you said, 99% of the time, it's hey, I have this photo on my phone. Do you like it? Okay, cool. Publish.
I also don't work internally, right? So I'm sure that everything that I send them, they host somewhere and they put somewhere in their internal system, so they have a record of it. Yeah. But I'm a consultant, so I don't work with them in that capacity.
So okay, so when you're at an IMSA race, and you think you've answered this, kind of as we've gone along and everything, but let's say checkered flag flies, race is done. What is the next 3 hours look like to you? Where are you going? Who are you talking to? What's that like for you?
Yeah, so this is any race that I have a media credential at. So and based on access, typically more IMSA, IndyCar, NASCAR, because F1 is kind of a different beast. But, in those 3 where I have proper access as media credential, I am going to try to be either in pit lane or kind of as close as I can get to the checkered flag to get video footage of that. And then obviously any following burnouts or team celebrations. If I can sit in the pit box of a team that maybe doesn't win super often, they're going to start screaming like crazy when their driver crosses the line, and you can kind of sometimes get both of that content in one because you're in pit lane, so you can get checkered flag and the team celebrating.
Right.
Then I dip on over to podium and I get content of the podium, and then I run back to the media center because there's always going to be the post-race press conferences with the top 3 drivers. I don't video that, but I will always listen in and get any sound bites or quotes or anything that could be interesting for us to use for content. Thankfully, most series will also provide either the transcript or the audio recordings that they have in the room. But I like to be there to kind of hear if someone says something really funny or interesting, then I'm like, okay, I catalog that. I know that I want to talk about that. I know that I want to pull that audio clip. I know I want to pull the exact quote from the transcript. And then kind of with any of that footage, again, depending on if I have plans for that, or there's a lot of times I do all of that and then there's nothing super interesting for me to do with, and then I just don't do anything with it and I go home. I don't want to know how many photos and videos on my phone right now. And the ones that have been unlooked and untouched is probably a lot.
I'm sure. Are you rocking 2 terabyte iPhone?
I pay for iCloud. I pay for 2 terabytes of iCloud, and with the new update, I actually don't know how to see how many. Oh, I have, yeah, you're ready for this? 150,000 photos and 24,000 videos on my phone. And I can tell you, half of them probably haven't been watched ever again. More than half. So, I will always get all of that content in case there is a story to come of it, in case there is a need for it, in case someone does need it, if the team wants it, or, I was, when I was at St. Pete, and one of my good friends was on the race winning car as a mechanic, and he was on the podium, and I took some sly pictures of him and I just sent them to him. He's like, that's so cool to have. Thank you. I'll always just try to get the content, whether it goes anywhere or not, just to have it. So yeah, after the press conferences, I'm either editing and posting something, or I'm saying, okay, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah. See you later.
Go home. Yeah, pretty much.
Very nice. That's cool that you did that for your friend too. That would be I love when I was in swimming, there would be moments like that where somebody would get a really good photo of me that I didn't even know was happening. I was like, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I try to do it for all my mechanic friends because nobody takes pictures of them. They always take pictures of the driver.
Yeah.
And I try to do it for my photographer friends because they're always the one taking the pictures and nobody takes pictures of them. So I know it's more of it's superfluous, but if I have the time, and again, I just like taking pictures. I want to be a photographer, so if I see a moment that looks cool, I'm going to capture it. And if it turns out crap, it turns out crap. Okay, whatever. But follow my heart.
You're the unsung hero of the paddock. I'm sure tons of people have been like, "Oh, she got a picture of me. That is awesome."
Every time somebody posts on Instagram a picture that I took of them or a video I took of them the week after, I'm like,
yeah.
I did something. That was me. I did that.
That's my photo right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is incredible. So, all right. So you mentioned, sometimes after the media pen, you're just like, you know what? I'm good. I don't have anything to do. Go home. After a race, are you doing any sort of analysis of your photos? I know you mentioned kind of Canva decks and everything to client deliverables. What does that analysis kind of look like for you? What's that process like?
Yeah. So, if I had more time and energy and bandwidth, I would probably be sifting through all of my photos and trying to pick out the ones that I want to do something with. But most of the time, any post-race analysis or anything is for a client deliverable. So for example, after every IMSA race, I'll give them, since all our collaborative posts are originated from me, they don't have access to all the analytics. So I usually give it about a week for any kind of post to pop off or get engagement or whatever, maybe 2. And I'll put all the analytics together in a deck so they can, see how everything performed, and we can kind of move forward with that information. We can see, okay, if this went viral, why do we think it went viral? Can we try to replicate it at some point? Is it a series we can turn into? Any kind of that thought process. But that's kind of it. As I said earlier, I wish I had more time and bandwidth to focus more on a lot of analysis and a lot of pre-planning, but a lot of times I just have to go right back into my work stuff because I've been on track since Thursday, and I might have gotten an email on Friday that I might have not replied to, and Monday morning comes and I'm like, okay, gotta get back to my job. So again, thankfully I love all of my clients. I have a fantastic relationship with all of my clients. It's never been, even my software and tech clients, they know I'm going to these races and they think that it's so cool, and they're like, yeah, go for it, I'll talk to you on Monday. So I was supposed to have a meeting next week with one of my tech clients, and I was on a call this morning about it. And I was like, oh, I'm not available Thursday and Friday. What I always say is I'm at a client offsite. And they're like, oh, what race are you going to now? Tell me all about it.
They know,
so it's everyone's super chill and cool. And I have been the person in the media center working on a post-earnings board report in the media center, and I've had Doug come up to me and say, oh my God, are you working on a post-earnings board report? And I go, yes, Doug, I am. Because
yes, I am.
It's just it's nature of the game when you're a consultant is you kind of just got to be doing things at all times. I've taken a lot of work meetings in media centers. Again, thankfully, all of my clients are super cool with it. If not just cool, they're encouraging about it. So I feel very lucky in that capacity.
Yeah. So this is our last question, and I feel like it's something that's very critical in your role and everything. How do you know what details, or I guess numbers and everything, a client cares about? Like you saying, if you had more time, you would do more analysis and everything, but out of what you do, how do you have that feeling of all right, I want to give this to my clients? You know, like this is what I should be delivering to them versus maybe what I shouldn't be delivering to them.
That is a great question. I think one of the really cool things about my very strange career trajectory is that since I worked on the internal side of, I've been in-house, I've worked for agencies in PR and marketing. I know what we've requested of other people. I know that what we were looking for internally for our goals, and a lot of the things that I do for GridClick, I try to think on like a 10,000 foot scale of what does this industry need to be talking about more? What do I find interesting that I think the series doesn't talk about enough? And 9 times out of 10, the series or the team or whoever I'm working with will also be thinking the same thing of, we're not talking about this enough. Again, i.e. like the dogs, the kids, that kind of stuff. It's like, these are really cool things that are happening on track that just aren't being spoken about. And so since that's just how my brain works, is to see those things and say, okay, that would be super helpful for people to know about this series because this is a really cool thing about the series, right? And especially as it comes to like the data analytics and stuff. Again, PR marketing is my job, so being on like the media side of it, I feel like I have a completely different lens because I know exactly what the PR marketing side is, because that's where my brain goes first. And I say, okay, I don't have to hire someone to fill this gap. I don't have to, try to tell a team that they should fill this gap. I can just go and do it myself.
Yeah.
Right? And, when I was working again for that IndyCar team for the full season doing their PR, like they didn't have a media program, right? They had never really walked into the media center and said, hi, I'm from this team. Nice to meet you. And so every time they had news going out, they didn't have those relationships. So since I'd come from the team side and I've worked in that PR person capacity, but I've also been in the media center for years, I was able to walk in and say, okay, I know both of you, let's talk. Like, it's being able to have both sides of that knowledge. So it's very easy for me to kind of put together what I think the client or the person, who I'm working for in that capacity would want. And also, again, I have those relationships with my clients that if I send them data information, they say, can you also send us this? Yeah, absolutely. I'll put that to them. So it's a lot, again, 9 times out of 10, they don't really ask for me to do it. I just do it because I'm going to do it anyway. So I might as well send it to them. And I know for IMSA, again, it's been IMSA and NASCAR, especially when we first worked with NASCAR back in 2023, and they reached out to us and said, we want to start an influencer creator program, but we don't have a huge budget for it. We need to convince leadership to create a budget. If we fly you out for a few races and, we pay you a certain amount to do certain things, like, can you basically help us convince them to give us money for this for next year? And we're like, heck yeah. Like, totally
absolutely.
Down, right? And so after that year, we gave them all of our information, all of our data analytics. They were able to secure a big budget, and now they have this massive influencer program, right? And so
that's incredible.
After doing that, I went to IMSA because NASCAR is owned by IMSA, but they're very siloed. IMSA is owned by NASCAR, but they're very siloed. And the IMSA digital and social team didn't know the influencer partnerships manager at NASCAR, and I said, here's her number. Talk to her. She's got all the decks and information for you to get your budget because we just did this, and so here you go, right? So it's, again, since my brain automatically goes to that side of the business side of things, of the marketing side of things, of like how I love motorsports so much. So how can we talk about it better?
Yeah.
And then I'm able to just go and do that instead of like trying to tell someone else, like trying to tell a series to go and do it or trying to tell someone else to go and do it. I just go and do it myself. So, yeah.
That is incredible. That's such a good story to end on. I love that. My gosh.
Yeah, it's, again, complicated. Going back to the beginning, it's like, it's so hard for me to be like, all right, this is what I do. Because it's like, it all kind of melts together, which I love. It's a beautiful thing. I'm able to wake up and say that I play race cars for a living. So
it's great. And it doesn't get any better than that, honestly. That is awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I was so excited about this interview just to learn, more about what you do, but also the tech that you use to do it. So thank you for everyone for listening and viewing. I'll paste Sarah's and GridClick's social medias below and everything. Make sure to go give them a follow. It's a lovely page. It's awesome. I remember Casey telling me about it when we first started this, and I immediately was like, this is incredible. But yeah, thank you again tonight, Sarah. Thank you. And we will see you later.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here and talking about everything. And yeah, if anyone has any questions or wants to talk more about stuff, shoot me a DM. I'm kind of bad with my DM sometimes, but shoot me a DM, and we can get in touch and chat about anything.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Talk to you later.